From Roots to Freedom, Nelson Mandela, Boy to President, by Neil, Malcolm, Misha, Sophia, and Langston. The acacia tree to the South African people was a symbol and a reminder of those who came before. It also served as a way of communicating with the ancestors, and because of their knowledge, people would ask for their guidance and would learn from them. People would also regularly ask for names for their children, for each children's name was specific to them.
Rolihlahla, troublemaker, bender of branches, the name given to him by the ancestors themselves, sent to his father in a dream, destined from birth to bend the branches of society that were in the way of freedom. This name suited him. He was lucky to have troublemaker written in nice handwriting on his soul. For someone whose name was agreeable to all, surely couldn't have done what he did. Rolihlahla was perfect. This was the name given to the man known as Nelson Mandela. This is his story. Born in the village of Mvezo, forced into the European way of life early, Nelson Mandela could not decide whether the people who had taken South Africa into their own hands were oppressors or beneficial. After being sent to school and finding work in Johannesburg with Justice, the son of the Lord who had raised him after Nelson's father died, Nelson realized that the Europeans were acting as dictators and oppressing the indigenous people. White co-workers treated Nelson as a servant below their level. To add to this already divided country, apartheid, the symptom of racial segregation, was established in 1948. Some of the policies included forcing the people to live in different areas because of skin color, creating a law that said South Africans had to move into the road when Europeans crossed their paths, and other racist and unjust laws put in place by the all-white government. Determined to put an end to this segregation, Nelson joined the ANC, the African National Congress, attending meetings and planned marches. Many of these marches were thwarted by the police, and many peaceful protesters ended up injured or dead, but Nelson still continued to fight for what was right, risking his life for the freedom of his people. Our leaves have been crushed under feet, trying to keep us down. New vines have sprouted, finding new eyes to hear our cries, so we may be refound. Blue skies have turned red with the bloodshed that all the soil has shared, but to break the bars and take our march, the lion's teeth haven't found. Monsters rage, we pace our cage, and old lies will become new truths. We took the hand of the violent man, and then we broke the arm. We plant new trees to hire new seas to put the rot out of way. The young people are old, and youth was sold for the slavery of the day. The fire is out, the free people are out, and the cage is splintered and broke. The sun shines on strong shoulders that the chains could do without. We watch our stars rise again, and this time people sing. We raise our eyes and hear the sighs of the joyous people breathe. You are the sun, the sky, and the planet. You are the warriors, the heroes, the gods. You are the smiles that light up dark faces. You are the wilderness, the trees, the animals. You fought the savagery and turned it to peace. You fixed the nightmares, the chaos, and hatred. I am Rolihlahla, bender of branches. I am the one that you call Mandela. I am the person who fought for your freedom. I am the one who suffered for our peace. I am the one who risked my life for us. I am the one who knows our struggle was worth it. We are the wise ones, the leaders, the rebels. We are the free people of South Africa.
Okay. Nelson continued to fight openly for freedom, equality, and the abolition of apartheid until he was abandoned from attending gatherings. But he was finally arrested along with 104 others. After a trial that lasted 4 years, they were all found not guilty, at which point Nelson went into hiding to continue the struggle underground. He became known as Black Pim Pearl because he became so clever at evading police attempts to capture him. He also traveled around Africa to countries that were sympathetic to the anti-apartheid struggle to get support for the ANC. Not long after this return to South Africa, Nelson was arrested again. Found guilty of treason this time, he began his long spell of incarceration in the notorious Robben Island prison. Arguing, 'twas not enough to fight them, 'twas not enough to defeat them, 'twas not enough to win. The sentencing was final, 5 years with no parole. I had known this had happened, but I had hoped his heart would change. The sentencing was final.
Prison bars thrown in my face, sentenced for life, sentenced without a trial, guards everywhere. I will never be free, but I will still fight. Nelson Mandela was first put in jail in 1962. He was charged for treason along with other members from the ANC. The ANC was a group of young activists who worked on justice for all in South Africa. Soon after the apartheid laws were put in place, the ANC abandoned their nonviolence policies because Nelson Mandela did not think the nonviolent protests were enough to get the African people to freedom. The members of the ANC were arrested many times and even outlawed, but no matter what happened, they would not give up the fight for freedom. An explosion in the cosmos. We knew he was powerful. A light in the dark room. We knew he would lead. Protester when there was nobody to protest. We knew Nelson Mandela would fight.
Much to my dread, Nelson is free. He's about as resilient as a man can be. I don't know how he does it. I don't know what's his power. All I know is that he somehow hasn't given up yet. Give up, Nelson. Stop wasting your time. You know that we're stronger. You'll never beat us. Give up already. You're fighting a lost cause. Your days are numbered. Enjoy them while you can. I woke up. Today was the day. Today was the day that I would become a free man once again. I could hardly believe it. I never thought I'd be let out of my cottage prison this soon. I wanted to jump up and down, but my old legs said otherwise. Nevertheless, I was still very happy. That day, I agonizingly waited for my release. I had developed a lot of patience over the years while fighting for freedom, but even I was having trouble waiting to be let out. It seemed so close, yet so far away. After waiting for what seemed like a lifetime, I finally saw a guard walking towards my cottage. My whole body shivered with excitement, and it only magnified as the guard got closer. I've been waiting 27 years for this moment, and it's finally arrived. Eventually, after what seemed like forever, the guard arrived at my cottage. Well, Nelson, you're a free man now, the guard said reluctantly. Then he took out his key and let me go. I walked out of my cottage. I was free. I was finally free. I could hardly believe it. I've been waiting 27 years for this moment, and it's finally arrived. It's finally come. I walked out of my cottage, out of the woods, and most importantly, out of prison. When I got out of the woods, I was pleasantly surprised to see thousands of people waiting for me. Not just Africans, though. There were also many Europeans in the crowd. They were all chanting my name. Nelson, Nelson, they chanted. I smiled. I could see that a lot of things have improved while I was locked up, and there were lots of positive signs. But it was clear that the Europeans still controlled most everything in the country. I kept reminding myself that even though I am free, my country isn't. Free, free, I'm finally free. After 28 years, I'm finally free. No more jails, no more bars, no more guards, no more cells. Just fresh air, a fresh mind, and a fresh life again.
The responsibility of a king, the respect of a mother, the resilience of steel. He's not like the others. With ideas that will lead the country, a crown on his head, Nelson Mandela will lead our future. It would have been the British instead. After his release, Nelson's inauguration as president on May 10, 1994, was one of the first times where we, the native people of South Africa, had a lasting impact on the Afrikaners. He was the first non-white head of state in South African history. His inauguration ceremony was attended by 45 heads of state and government. He won a 63% share of the vote at the election. He was also the leader of the ANC, an activist group striving for equality. We have answered your calls. Your hero is free. We were the government. We are not the leaders anymore. We put him in jail, but Nelson is free. He's taking charge. Now you see. He's head of the state. You were the minority. Poetry and Stories by Langston, Malcolm, Misha, Neil, and Sophia. Street Art and Murals by Soweto Street Art Artists.